Nothing hidden, nothing fake. Real conversation, real redemption. Testimonies of grace. Real stories, real people. Faith that carried them through. When God turns a life around, He can make a way for you. Every story has a purpose. Every voice can speak the truth. Real stories, real people, and God is not done with you.
Hey, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to this broadcast. We want to thank you so much for listening tonight. We have another great story, the journey through grief and healing. The journey through grief and healing. With no other intro, we want to bring our guest on to let her introduce how did we get to this the journey through grief and healing as we bring up our guest and she introduce herself.
Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Cherie Jackson, and I am from Knoxville, Tennessee. And it is such an honor to be a part of this amazing platform, which is giving real stories by real people. And I think it's real important to be able to share how you're able to turn your pain into purpose.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, we thank you for joining. But we're going to jump right on into our questions.
Yes.
We're going to jump right into our intro questions, which is pretty much what started you on this journey. What inspired you to help others through grief? What inspired you? What was it that inspired you?
Well, what inspired me is when my kids died, there were no grief support groups in my area. A lot of times with our people, we turn to pastors, we be part of churches, and most of the churches don't have grief support. We confine ourselves to people. We put people on a mantle and a pedestal, but they might not have lost any children. So
Yeah.
there becomes no transparency. Empathy and sympathy is different. So people can try to understand what you're going through, but when you haven't lost a child, um, you find yourself like in a whirlwind. You're constantly trying to find validation and you can't find it. So I started writing and journaling my pain daily, um, and set a lot of gifts down. I set some things down so that I could focus on the healing because I realized I was around people who had not lost any kids. My grandparents who had lost children, they're gone in heaven. So my mom, who is, all of us have moms that are there and they always tell you, Sherry, you ain't been through nothing. I ain't tried. I ain't did. But this was one area in my life that she had never encountered. There was no way for her to help me. She said the only way I would be able to understand how you feel is to lose your brother. And to me, that was a wake up call, that we all need transparency, because it becomes a selfish. You become selfish when you think the only way someone's going to understand is if their child dies, and you find yourself uh, not wanting. You don't want to be a part of this club, even though you're a part of this club. This ain't one you want to be a part of. It's not a recruiting
Yes,
team.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you talked about writing. So
Yes.
what is Soul Right House Empowerment Center and how did it begin?
Well, the Souls Right House is a self-book publishing organization. Souls, SOLS, stands for Situation of Life Stories. We all have one. And when it came to writing, I have found that a lot of times we think we got to write the whole book, the whole life story from birth to now. And God may not be through with your story. So what he showed me was there's a lot of procrastination and a lot of people can't get helped because you're bound by your story being completed. And what God wants us to do is focus on a situation at a time. Because as you get through one situation, it ain't saying that no other one it won't come, but you
Yes.
become a maker of that particular issue. So if the devil brought you to it, and God got you through it, Well, once you get on that other side, you're ready to testify and shout. But if you have to wait on everything in your life to line up before you share, you may leave this earth and never share it. So God is saying, quit procrastinating on the situation that he helped you get through, because it's the many situations we get through that prepares us for the kingdom. You're never going to be perfect, but you are perfectly made.
Yeah.
So take those situations, and as you heal from them, write about them, because then that becomes the help and the compassion to help somebody else that's going to go through it, because you're not the first to go through it and you won't be the last. But I feel it's important to get through that situation, whether it's anger, abandonment, drinking, addiction. You can't deal with everything in your life until you deal with an issue at a time. So I think it's important to get to the situation and share it and get to the root of your own pain, because then you can be a vessel for somebody else. And the Souls Right House started by, one, me losing my children, but then it seems like gun violence, and a lot of my friends are losing their children to gun violence and domestic violence and overdose and suicide. And so he told me, when this little boy named Xavion Dobson in our city, he shielded some girls from bullets and it took his life. So he saved some children's lives and his life was taken. And what more love is there than a man that'll lay his life down for another? And so that's how the Souls Right House was raised up, was those children being able to express their feelings. Because a lot of times with death in our kids, the funeral can be Friday, they back at school Monday.
Yes.
That's no way to cope. There's no way to deal. And we're forced to deal. We don't go to retreats. We don't go off for a week. We can't go to the beach. We don't have houses where we can go and retreat. We just
Yeah.
don't. And so God is saying, make it available. Make available what's not there. And that's what he's using the Souls Right House Empowerment Center is for us to gather, retreat, share, cry. But now it's time to take the pain and turn it into a purpose, because that's why
Yes.
you had to go through it.
Yes. That's amazing. Great story. It reminds me of why we got to real story, real people, because there's so many stories
Yes.
that our young youth, our Gen Zs is what people say, but it's all people that I say that we stop doing like some of the things you just was talking about that Soul White House does now, where people can come and share their story. People can
Yes.
come and grieve a little bit. So we thank you for that. We thank you for your ministry in that. So we
Thank you.
talk about your personal journey as you had a little bit of it in that, why you got to writing and why you got to that. Can you share the experience that led you to do this work? Can you, once you lost a child, and like you said, that was pain, that was grief,
Yes.
that was a road that you didn't know where it was going to go.
Right. Right. And it separated me from a lot of things. I was divorced, hurt by relationships who really could not tap in to the purpose. A lot of times relationships take you away from your calling. And the more you're away from your calling, your gifts, your talents, you become a servant of the Lord, but you also become enslaved to the devil. You find yourself taking on other people's burdens because you're trying to shelter your own. You take up on responsibilities of things which will procrastinate what your purpose is, because you're so worried about helping somebody else. And as I prayed, I said, God, in this journey that I had to go through, nobody understood what I went through except the father, the father of the children. Some people turn to drugs, alcohol. I turned to God. And even though I was mad at him, I was mad at God, because I was like, God, how you just gonna come get my kids? Like, I was with their daddy, we had a job, we working. Like, how does this happen to people who love their kids? But then I started thinking, okay, I wasn't married. Am I being punished? Is it because I had kids out of wedlock? And you start to beat yourself up because of your relationship. And it's like the Holy Spirit was saying, the only way to me is through my son. And you talk to me all the time, and I know your beginning, your ending, all the numbers of hairs on your head, but you don't talk to my son. He is the intercessor for you. You're not the intercessor for you. Um, and so as I started that journey, I started to write. God said, write it down and make it plain from the tablet of your heart, which is from Habakkuk 2:2. And as I started to do that, the Holy Spirit was saying, write out what it is that you want, because if it's not written, it can't come to pass. And a lot of times I tell our people, no matter what it is in life that is created, it starts on paper. It don't matter what it is, from buildings to churches to cars to remote controls to even the iPhones we own today. Somebody had to write it before it could come to pass. And so when it comes to my relationships, I told God I needed a king. I needed a man that could complement what was already in me, not to create something else that causes me to go off course, but I'm a singer and a writer. And so those gifts were set down due to pain, but those same gifts were still there. And God was saying, the Holy Spirit was saying, write it down and make it plain. So I prayed for a king that understood my music journey, that wouldn't take me away from it, that wasn't jealous and envy of being in a studio with a man or a woman or groups of people, but will allow me to be who I am, which is a writer and a producer. And then I said, God, as he comes into my life, I want to be an asset to him. See, it ain't just about me, but it's like I got to be able to complement what he does, so that together we're taking on a relationship that is glorifying God, because it's a covenant. And so I prayed for that king. I prayed for the ability to be able to surround myself with people who had been through what I've been through. In 2 Timothy 3, it says, in the last days, we'll be amongst people who are hasty, disobedient to their parents, slanderous, haughty. They'll have the form of godliness, so they'll look the part, but they'll deny the power within. They won't encourage you. They will discourage you. People will see the gifts and you sing, but they don't want you to sing. They want you to usher. So I'd be like, so what I'm gonna be, a singing usher? Like, God didn't call me to usher, even though I like being nice to people and handing you a fan or whatever, but I'd rather sing to you. And that's what happens. The enemy will come in to do the opposite of what God has for you. And so you'll find yourself in areas having 50 hats and 20 titles, but it's like you'll be great at a lot of things, but a master of nothing. Um, and so he was like saying, remove all these hats, quit trying to be all this to everybody, and go back to what I called you to do, which was sing and to speak. And so once I did that and gave it over to God, as I started writing and published book, I produced a book called Root of My Pain. And what that did was God showed me a tree. And he said, have you ever noticed trees that lean? And I was like, I see trees that lean all the time. And I'd be like, Lord, what's wrong with that tree? Trees go up and down. But what I had to learn through trees were that the roots continue to grow. The roots are always stretching out for water. It needs water to live. And a lot of times through uh, construction, through rebuilding of our neighborhoods. We get pipes put in the ground. We do a lot of stuff to the earth. And a lot of times these tree roots get caught up in the ground and get stopped somewhere along the way, whether it's concrete, a pipe, a brick, a rock. But somehow that root can't go a certain can't go so far no more. So it's having to reroot itself, and it may have to come back around and go back the other way. But that tree is leaning because there's damage on that side of the tree. It's letting you know that side of the tree ain't getting water. It can't get it. So it's getting it from another source. So if the tree is leaning this way, the water source is that way. If the tree is leaning this way, it's getting the water source from that way. So it's letting you know what side of that tree that is not getting it from the regular way. And so, as I said, the root of my pain, he said, get to your root, and then you will discover who you are. So as I did that, God brought my husband. He's a producer. He does media. He's a veteran. So therefore, he's learned the side of death and grief. He lost his best friend. He started to have elements that was missing in my life, where I had a dad, he didn't have a dad. We were able to complement each other in areas to fix what was missing. and I became the rib. It's like I knew I was his rib because we complemented each other.
Yes.
I can finish his sentence, he can finish mine, and I knew he was from God. There was no asking nobody, well, what you think? You know, a lot of times we meet people and want everybody else's opinion about something you prayed for. God
Yeah.
said, don't do that. When you sit down and pray and you call upon those things, when it shows up, you ought to rejoice. You ain't got to ask nobody. You rejoice. And that's what I've been doing ever since I met him. October the 13th, 2023, God brought him in. And now we started Souls Healed podcast, which gives everybody an opportunity to share their grief, their loss, and how to turn pain into purpose so that your true calling in life can go forth. Uh, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to reignite those dry bones and
Yes.
realize that you have a reason why you went through what you went through. We sometimes don't understand, but sometimes it's not for us because it came through us, but it's to be the vehicle for somebody else to see that you can make it through. No matter
Yes.
what, you can make it.
Yes. Great story. Hearing your story, hearing how the energy level, how that amazing about grief. Can you explain to someone that may be in that same situation and maybe thinking, can you explain how did that grief shape your life?
Well, at first, it isolated me. They start to label you bipolar. You have PTSD. You know, they start throwing all these labels on you. Um, and that's only because they haven't lost a child. It's like it's so easy for you to put a label on me, but you've not lost a child. So if you buried your child, would you give that same advice? And they really could never answer that. So what I learned was through grief, um, keep their memory alive. When someone says, I lost my son, or I lost my daughter, or I lost my mom, the first thing I ask them is, what is their name? Because if I never know their name, I'm never giving I'm not acknowledging them. I'm just taking in the grief side, meaning that you're going to stay stuck in how they died and not that they're with Jesus.
Yes.
So when I ask their name, it tends to change the dynamic of how they about to share the loved one. I've noticed if I don't ask what the name is, they're gonna go into the grief. They're gonna be sad. They're gonna cry. They're gonna talk about the tragedy. But it's something about when you ask, well, what was their name? What was her name? What was your son's name? Oh, well, my son's name was Wesley. All of a sudden, they light up. They start thinking about Wesley, not how Wesley died, but Wesley, his smile, his walk, how he did this. It's like it changes the whole dynamic because you brought them back to life. And that's the grieving process. Never be afraid to remember them. Yeah, they have birthdays, but nobody's going to remember their birthday 5 years from now. They're not going to remember that December 28th is her birthday. They're not going to remember that, but I am. So I got to not be afraid to write it on the calendar, to remember them. Or if someone brings up, I see a child that was born the same time my child was, and I look at your child and I say to myself, wow, if my baby was still living, she would be with him. And wow, I wonder how they would this and how that your whole dynamic changes because you start talking about them with a smile. Like, oh my gosh, I bet you she'd have kids, or I bet you he would this, or I bet you he'd play football, because you look at somebody else's child, or you look at someone else's mom. You look at how they take care of their mom. You may be losing your mom or lost your mom, but then your friend has a mom that she mistreats.
Yes.
So you become a vessel. Like, oh my God, I can remember, honey, my mama would never let me talk like this. She been knock my teeth out. Well, you become a vehicle because you should be talking about your mom with a smile because it's gonna help somebody. But long as you never know their name, I think it keeps you bound into the tragedy side of the death. How they died, they were stabbed, they were shot, they was in a car accident. Like your whole trauma, it stays in your face
Yes.
because you don't put a person name with the tragedy. You just see death. And so I feel like it's important to always ask them who the loved one was. And then I think it's always important that after you ask, just be quiet. Let them talk. Let them talk. Let them talk about them. Because it's going to bring a smile. Everybody I've encountered ends up smiling because I want to know who they are. And when you say their name, you give them life.
Yes.
And I just tell people, don't be afraid to bring them up. I don't care if it's, March or Valentine's Day or whatever. Ask me, well, Sherry, how old would she be now? Because I'm sure gonna start counting. Like, wow. I start thinking, like, wow, that
Mm.
happened in '91. So 2001. You get the counting. Like, oh my God, she would be 36 now. And you never picture them grown because you just remember where they were when they died. So mine were babies, but to think what she would be like being a mom, because I look at
Yeah.
my characteristics, and apples don't fall far from the tree. So I look at my seed as, wow, she'd sing, or maybe she'd write, or she may be in ministry. So I just think it's important to ask questions and let them talk when
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
grieving.
Thank you so much. In this, also in this personal journey, you shared on healing. But what was some of the hardest moments you faced?
Some of the hardest moments I faced for me, first, when it's time to bury them, you can't picture the loved one in the ground. Like, you just, that hole down there just does something to you. It's just like, it's permanent, that there's no return. But then after years, you don't go to the gravesite. It's like after the funeral, you never go back. And it's like, I think that for me, it was more hurtful not to go because I wasn't acknowledging they're gone. It's like I wanted to I didn't want to put no tombstone down. It was like I just didn't want to go back. And as I prayed about it, the Holy Spirit, you got to think about the resurrection of Jesus. They went back, and the only way you get healed and have peace is when you know they're not there. Well, I know their spirit is not there, but it was their body that we held. It was their body that we took care of. And so I tell people, go back and get your release. Go back
Yes.
to that grave site, um, and complete the journey of their ascension. Because after the funeral, we don't go back. We fear it. We don't like graveyards. But I think it's important to go back because it's a level of closure, especially when you start to see the grass grow back, because at
Yeah.
first it looks muddy, it's got that little no grass on it, and you be like, oh, that's just, I can't go back. But when you go back and you see that life went on, the grass has grown. You can't even see the dip where it was even dug out. And it's like, God, wow, like life has to go on. Um, and so once you see that, it brings peace to you. And I think that the hardest thing was birthdays, Christmases, Memorial Days. These days that people forget are the
Yes.
days you remember. And so make it your business that if your child died on the 28th of every month, you should remember them in some way. My husband would always bring a rose to me. Um, and I think that it helps him to remember that I grieve. It hits you in different times. You can hear it through a song. I can be somewhere and see someone even look like her, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, it looks like my child." God will do that. The Holy Spirit will do that because I feel He does that because you're not healed. You're not okay. We try to act like we okay, but we ain't okay. People want to tell you that it'll be better in time. No, it don't, cause they still gone. Every day you wake up, they're not coming back. They were here. So I think that the more you take the time to just deal with the pain when it comes. If it hits you and you cry, go on and cry. If it hits you and you feel like you just want to be by yourself, go be by yourself. Because there's no justification to why you feel like you feel. No one's going to be able to understand you if they haven't gone through it themselves. So it's like, get a part of a support group. Um, Join groups on Facebook that deal with grief. You could be looking at everybody's life, but everybody's life is a lie. People on there, them pictures ain't as happy as you think. Them smiles behind
Yeah.
some of that stuff you see is not real. To me, the more happier you act like you are, the more pain you got. So for
Yes.
me, I would go shop. Like half the time I go shop when I'll be hurting, because I like to be around people. And
Yes.
I would tell somebody, the more sharper I am, the worse day I had. So if I was sharp from head to toe, be like, girl, that hat, that purse, them nails, them eyes, them lips, them cheeks, that shoes, girl, your toes polished. Guess what? I was tore up from the floor up. That's why I look good from head to toe, because I
Yes.
was tore up from the floor up. So it had to take me from the head down to get it together. So I tell
Mm.
people shop a lot, drink a lot, smoke a lot. We do all them a lots when we are hurting. But it's amazing when you at peace, you don't want to do nothing. When I'm at peace, I don't want to shop. When I'm at peace, I do my own toes. When I'm at peace, I can go do my own hair. You feel what I'm
Yes.
saying? But
Yes.
the more hurt I was, the more I needed people to be in my space. It's like I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to, might not always want to talk about it, but I felt like the more pain I was in, the more I reached out for idle things other than God. I didn't call on Jesus. The more
Yeah.
pain I felt, I didn't call on Jesus. I called on the credit card. I called on the nail salon. I called on the mall. And that's what I tell people. Quit calling on those things that take from you and call on God who will give to you. And you'll see, you'll be totally different. You'll be okay with letting your nails go an extra week on the fill in. You be like, I don't even care about that fill in. But when you're in pain, everything is noticeable. You care about everything, and that's how I knew that I was in pain, because I cared more about what people thought. You go to church and you're supposed to have this aura about yourself and never be in pain. All that's a myth. Uh,
Yes.
God gave His only begotten Son, so He heard it every day as well. So it's like, who am I that my son had to be sacrificed for me? And I thank God for it now. And being in groups that I was able to hear other tragedies. My kids died when they were babies, so I didn't get prom pictures and I didn't get high school pictures and middle school pictures. But being in groups with people who did,
Yes.
the way it helped me was, Lord, thank you that I didn't have mine 15 years and then you took it. I didn't realize how happy I was they left as babies
Yes.
until I was in groups where someone's 16-year-old was shot 30 times. It's like, Lord, you let him stay that long and then he had to die that way. So then I look at my babies being young, going, wow, Lord, like it was tragic that they died to me, but
Yes.
they didn't die tragically. And so I got reference from that, like, wow, like in this world today, thank you, Lord, that they didn't
Mm.
have to leave that way. But I'm also thankful and grateful for the parents that share that they had their kids 20 years and then died. You look at that Nolan Wells case, this boy's life was just beginning. And
Yes.
to now lose your child in the hands of people, it's like, God, I thank you that at the end of the day, my babies are gone because my daughter died in the hands of someone else, but they didn't have to go through that.
Yes.
And my pain, even though it hurts, it ain't 15 years worth. It was 6 months worth. And I brought them in this world and they had to go back. But it's important to get around and hear other people's stories, because it'll send a sense of gratitude to you. And even those that lost tragically, you'll find a comfort in those that whose child didn't die that way. Maybe they
Yeah.
died of cancer. Maybe they died in the war. You will start to find that death is death. And at
Yeah.
the end of the day, the only thing we have in common is that all of them are in the ground. That's it.
Yeah.
We can't
Yes.
compare it. There's no way to compare.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's so true.
That's so true. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You talked about the healing process.
Yes.
The healing process. Somebody that listening to this maybe now or later on, what are some common misconceptions about grief that people, like you said, sometimes it's their friends, sometimes it's someone telling them something and they never lost a child. I heard you say them type of thing. So what are
Yes.
some other, so that it helps someone that's going through this, but listening to other people and like you say, not getting it for them, feeling it for themselves, getting to these groups you talked about.
Correct. I think it's important that some of the myths that you get It'll get better in time. No, it don't. It actually gets a little worse if you're not turning it into a purpose. If you constantly isolate yourself, they'll label you bipolar, PTSD. They won't put you on medicine. Um, People turn into addicts of some kind, food addicts, smoke addicts, drink addicts. But for me, and even going to church don't fix it.
Yes.
One of the myths is just going to church. You shove it more under the carpet at church than you do if you just was out here with a random stranger. Because, see, at church, you walking
Yeah.
around acting like you got it together. See, in church, we do a lot of faking. In church, you be at the altar every Sunday. Okay, how anybody gonna be delivered if you there every Sunday? Like, he ain't did nothing for you to where
Yes.
every Sunday you at the altar. You can say you been at church 10 years, but you
Yes.
at the altar more now after your child died, and it's like, or your loved one dies, but that ain't even why you going. See, a lot of times you should be going to the altar because you praying for somebody else. See, the more you go to that altar praying for you, it's selfish because you ain't the only one lost a child.
Yes.
You're So what happens is, one of the myths is just, going to church, laying on the altar, giving everybody all your business. Okay, that don't heal you. They give you tissue when you crying, but get on up and start doing something. Go get up,
Yeah.
get in the choir. And then they see that anointing on your life.
Yes.
You'll see how fast your child's death ain't even an issue. They don't realize the pain of why you can sing is cause of the pain you went through. The anointing that's on your life is cause of pain that you've been through, not cause you pretty, not cause you can sound like Tasha Cobbs. Girl, you sound like Yolanda Adams. Okay, let me go back to the drawing board because I ain't supposed to sound like Yolanda Adams. I'm supposed to sound like Sherry Williams Jackson. See, I don't want to sound like nobody. My pain ain't your pain. I can't sound like you in your grief. So I tell people, a lot of misconceptions is thinking that just running the church is going to heal you right away. Actually, running the church, if they don't have a grief support group, you're not a part of Grief Share, you're not a part of anything that's going to help you deal with the grief, you're going to wear a mask at church.
Yes.
And what happens with that mask is you now are looked at because your shoes cost $200, because
Yes.
your purse is a Coach bag. Now you're part of a clique of people who wear hats, who carry expensive purses,
Yes.
but they're not getting to the root of the pain. The root of my pain is I'm doing all this unnecessary shopping because I'm trying to cover up something. Don't you understand? I ain't even giving my tithes, but I can go pay $200 for a Coach bag. See, we're not getting to the root of the pain because we're not in the new law of the covenant. People look at God as a 10% God. God says give from your heart. God may tell me give my whole check. That'd be way more than 10%. But if I'm
Yes.
obedient and I give up that check, there's something on the other side that I'm gonna be blessed with that check can't even touch. That check
Yeah.
might be $500. God may say sow it, but we won't because we say, "Oh, I just got to give 10%," and we wonder why we're not getting healed and delivered because we're not really reading the word for ourselves. We're listening to a man who we idol, who we give everything to, and we give Jesus nothing.
Yeah.
Jesus is sitting back grieving, going, "Now you done told your pastor all this, but I'm the one intercessing for you. He can pray for you, but even he got to come to me." So get rid of the middleman and turn to Jesus. And when you go to the altar in your grief, don't
Yeah.
pray. You pray for yourself in your war room and at home and in the car and all that. But when you go to church, what helped me was when I go
Yeah.
to that altar, I'm praying for the existing mother that's lost her child, but I'm also praying for the future mama that's going to lose her child. Because what I'm releasing is, don't let it take you 20 years like it took me to get it together. Don't let it take 20 years out here in the wilderness, because everybody might not get the 20 years I got. See, he had grace on me and gave me time to get it together and
Yes.
call on Jesus, because I was calling on God. God said, "You calling on me, but I can't do nothing. It's like a puppet. You out of order. Talk to my son. Talk to my son. And when you talk to him, let him bring it to me. Because, see, when he bring it to me, that means you got it right." And I tell people, get on that altar and pray for somebody else, because he's going to deliver you. The more you pray for that next woman That means that woman, when she buries her child, she might not
Yes.
take 5 years to start her nonprofit. She might not take 5 years to become a minister. She may not take 5 years to go work in the school system, because that's probably what she should have been doing the whole time, but she wasn't. But it took her to lose her child to push her into it. So God is saying, pray for another. Because he got you. You done laid it down. Your baby gone. Your mama gone. Your daddy gone. The uncle gone. But go to
Yes.
that altar and pray for that next person that's going to lose, because they're going to lose. But pray for their soul. Pray that whatever it is that God is calling them to do, that once they lose it, they can position themselves for their alignment for the kingdom. Because I tell people, you treat God's people great, you'll get raptured. But if you treat God's people bad, you get captured. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather get raptured than captured.
Yes, yes, yes. So true. So true. So true. Thank you. So true. So true. So you had that peace, you had that energy level. Help someone that may not be there with this question here that it's okay. What helped you move forward without forgetting what you lost? What helped you move forward without forgetting what you
Well,
lost?
journaling. When I started to journal, as I told you before in Habakkuk 2 and 2, it says, write it down from the tablet of your heart and make it plain. Okay, I had to first let God know I was mad. Why you take mine? We always say we can't ask, but you can. I had to write it down for myself, because he gonna answer you through many things. It may come through a song,
Yes,
a movie, a person,
yes,
but you gotta ask. You gotta write it down and make it plain. God, why my kids had to die? Was you mad at me? God, what was it that I did? As I started to ask the questions and write them down and make it plain, as he answered me, I went back and wrote it. So it might have been 2 months I got the answer. Some answers same day. Some answers I'm still waiting. But what happens is writing it down allows you daily to build this intimate relationship with Jesus, which is going to help you understand your purpose.
yeah,
You gotta write it down. You gotta get out of you what you're thinking in your head, because he's functioning from your heart. See, he can't function from here. He's got to function from the heart. So long as your mind ain't right, your heart ain't right. So he's grieving. He can't enter doubt, fear, frustration. He can't enter. You can pray all day, but he can't enter. You can't pray today and I get you through it, but then the phone ring and somebody else take you to it. If the devil brought you to it, God will get you through it. But quit getting to the two part. We get through it, but then go back to it. And God is saying, if I threw everything into the sea of forgetfulness, only the devil remembers.
yes,
So God can't, if he don't remember, and you bring something to me, like you said, how you go on and don't forget. Well, first of all, I forgot the tragedy side of it, because they gone. The tragedy, once the tragedy hit, you get that phone call, they gone. The tragedy part is over. It's gone. You don't feel what they felt. You wasn't in the wreck. You wasn't there. All
yeah,
you know is you got the call. So God is saying, do you hear my call now? Now that you got the call, put the tragedy aside. And now we got to look at the other side, which is the blessing of why they were here, what they instilled in your life, and
yes,
now what vessel are you gonna be for the next person? Because one day we not gonna be here.
yeah,
One day I'm not gonna be here. So is my legacy gonna be everybody after me is just gonna be mad at God, or is everybody after me gonna be chasing God? And that's what I want for everybody: is to turn your tragedy into chasing your Jesus, so that when it's your time to leave, are they gonna find their way to Jesus or go back to the devil? Because I had someone say, "Well, the devil always got to ask God to do anything to me." And my question was, "Do you tithe and give?" Well, no. Do you serve at your church? Do you do anything? No. Do you give to people? Do you give clothes, shoes? Well, no. Okay. Well, the devil ain't after you.
yeah,
You don't belong to Jesus. You belong to the devil. So the devil don't ask for what's already his. So
yes,
I tell people, if he can ask for me, how come you ain't asking for him? Why ain't you asking for him to be up under your feet? Why ain't you asking for him to remove himself because he is a counterfeit to everything God does. So I tell people, go read 2 Timothy and 3 for yourself, because as he describes the things in our life that should be removed, because if you don't remove it, he'll remove it. If he's because God, when God is after you, you might not move stuff out your path, but he will. And so you got to say to yourself, in the midst of my calling, if God is chasing me, then that means he never left me, I left him. So when you gonna stop? Just
Yeah.
stop. Because then you'll meet him. You'll meet him right where you are. And that's how I tell people, just find a way to surround yourself with people who have lost a child or a loved one, but then find what's missing in your church and
Yes.
start it. So what's missing? You can't get healed because it's not there, but God is using you to make it appear. So find out what's missing, and then that's where you come in. That's where you can implement your journey and help somebody else along the way. Because as I stated, one day we're not going to be here.
Yeah.
And his whole purpose is when you lost your child, did the world lose you? Did you become mean, self-centered, arrogant, like who you became after that loved one died? Did you become a force, or did you become something that makes everybody bust hell wide open because of what you going through? So I
Yeah.
just want people to understand death happens, but death is to free us. Death is not to be scared of. It's to
Yeah.
free you from this world. And I just think it's real important to just continue to write down and ask those questions that God himself will answer in his timing. But you just got to learn to be still, and focus on your pain. Keep their pictures up, keep their name visible. So when you talk to someone about your loved one, mention their name, because you awaken them. You awaken them. And that means they're with you. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Great. Great. Amazing. Amazing. You talked about others.
Yes.
So tell us, what service or support does Soul White House provide, just in case someone want to reach out and say, "Wow, I didn't know all this. I've been stuck here for this long, listening to everybody else, and I
Yes.
finally heard what I needed to hear." So,
I tell
Justin,
people, what gift or talent did God give you that you're not pursuing?
yes,
And a lot of people really don't know. They'll say, "Well, I really don't know what my gift is," or I don't know. It's been so long. Kids came in, life happened. I don't know what I'm good at anymore." And so I asked, I said, "God, how can I steer someone back to where they left you?" Because see, you got to think about where you left them at. Was it sixth grade? Was it seventh grade? Because see, by then you supposed to already know what you're gonna be when you grow up. A lot of them didn't, because somehow in sixth, seventh, eighth grade you lost yourself. You got sexualized. You became cute. You got a boyfriend. You cared about the band. You cared your life. You left God. You left your purpose. So I tell people, go back to elementary school. Take your mind back. And first, can you name all six teachers? Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Can you name those teachers? And then, because then God is dealing with your memory now. He's starting to remember, helping you to remember who you was before you lost who you was. So I say, go back to elementary. Think about those teachers, because you was with the same teacher all day. You left for gym, you left for lunch, you left for art, but you still had to come back to that one teacher that was like your mom. That's all you had all day. But when you was in elementary school, what was your protocol? What was you so good at that everybody knew you was good? Was you a runner? Did you run your mouth a lot? Did somebody say you was an attorney? Did someone say, "Oh, girl, you can sing, girl, you sound like Shaka Khan. Girl, you remind me of," see, when you was in school, them first 6 years, your gift was presented. So what did everybody say you was good at? Could you draw? Did you make clothes? Did you braid hair? Like, what was it you did that was so young? Everybody was like, "I can't believe she can draw like that." She could draw, because when I was little, I could draw Snoopy and Charlie Brown and all them. It was so simple. But that wasn't my calling. Singing and writing was. So it's like when you go back to elementary school, And you think about all those things everybody kept saying you was great at. Everybody said the same thing. But somehow you got in sixth and seventh grade and you didn't you lost it because why? Them 3 years of school, you had 21 teachers. You ain't got one teacher all day no more. In sixth grade, you had 7 teachers. You didn't stay in class all day to go through all your studies. You had to leave and go to each class individual. Well, those were 7 spirits that entered you.
Yes.
So did those teacher spirits enhance your gift? Or did those teacher spirits take away your gift? Because see, I remember teachers that when we girls started wearing them little tight jeans and all that, well, them male teachers used to call us to the board, knowing good and well we didn't know the answer.
Right.
But we would have to go on that board, not because we was gonna figure it out, because he was looking at us. And so a lot of girls ended up pregnant in high school because that same look that teacher had who could not touch you, the eighth grader could.
Yes.
The seventh grader could. The 10th grader could. Because see, the teacher couldn't, but the kid could. So that spirit was in us and we didn't realize it. We didn't realize that in the 7th grade I wanted to wear tight jeans. What happened to the skirts? Somehow those spirits entered us, and you got nerds, and then you got the ones that were in the world. The nerds grew up to be something. They were the lawyers, the attorneys, all these people that you didn't like when you was in middle school turned out to be the ones that's doing great. And the ones who you thought was going to be great are the ones that had kids out of wedlock,
Yes.
kids before they left high school. They working at McDonald's. They slaving. Ain't even getting to enjoy life because life happened because they got out of order. So I tell people, go back to your elementary years and focus on what it was you was before you got in middle school and high school and lost it. Go get it back. It's never too late.
Yes. Wow. Great. That's great. That's great. That's so true when you listen to you and our listeners look back to something you said about families, churches, and communities. How can families, churches, and communities better support people going through loss? Tell someone that may be listening to this and in that road, they may not know it, they may not see it clear. What can they do to better support people going through losses? Like you say, some churches don't even have a grief group.
Don't
I ain't
even
gonna
have
have
a
a
group.
grief group, but you the first pastor at the funeral.
Yes. Yes. And don't even know the person. And how you know they going to heaven? How you know? Like everybody ain't going, but you ain't gonna get up there and tell the truth. So
Yes.
that's why I say truth don't always happen at the church because we put band-aids and cover everything up. And it
Yeah.
don't be true. Like I said, everybody life walk ain't going to heaven. Everybody ain't going.
Yes.
So I think it's important that people who know people are grieving, like with our organization, we do book publishing, we have that cricket machine where people have word affirmations where if you want the word faith, believe, scriptures, we can cut them out, put them on your word, that way you can walk with the word, be like, girl, let me put that on the back of your blue jean jacket. You walking around here and you believe and got faithful, then let's put something on that shirt so that today when you go, not only are you believing, but somebody else gonna see belief and faith on your shirt. It's gonna activate somebody else. So I tell people, when you around people that's grieving, you know the gifts that's in them, encourage them to pursue. And what I mean by that is if they can sing, why I know you know somebody with a studio. They need to go write a song. With all this AI technology and where you can go in and write songs and you ain't even got to sing them now.
Yeah.
You can just write it, put it in a thing, and the AI create the video and everything and be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that's what I was thinking. Like you can actually literally, and I think it's spiritual. A lot of people look at the AI thing sometimes as this evil thing, but we got to really think about it. Only God can speak and it show up.
Yes.
So now we have the ability to speak and it comes up. So in your walk in life, if you the one in your family with the money and you can help your cousin start that business, go help them start it. Quit talking about it. Quit shaming her. Quit talking about, girl, you a YouTube hairdresser. And go on and help her get the salon. If you own buildings, you got property, you got several
Yes.
cars, you help your loved one pursue what life took from them. We always say God gonna give us back everything the devil stole. Okay.
Yes.
Well, then you be that vessel. Like in our company, we do media, video, t-shirts, book publishing, and we got the grief. So if you are someone that cares about my walk, then you're going to offer up the studio equipment. You may say, hey, Sherry, I got these two keyboards over here. Y'all can come get them. Hey, Sherry, I got this microphone set. Girl, it's been in my garage for years. I didn't even do it. But I had someone call me, had a $3,000 camera just sitting, and called me one day because they saw my live. And they said, Miss Sherry, I was moved by God to call you to bless you with this camera. When my husband saw that camera, it was just sitting on my shelf because I didn't know the value of it either. He
Right.
saw that camera. He was like, do you not know that this is a $3,500 camera? And you need to be using this instead of your phone. And I was like, are you serious? So if people see value in things and they see value in your purpose, then help them. Don't just sit back and be like, well, honey, she's so smart. She could have been done open her salon. Well, maybe you was the problem. You could have helped her, but you didn't. She might not have had the money to start that salon, but you do. So God gonna bless you if you open up. He says he'll open up a window and pour you out a blessing you won't have room to receive. But on the receiving end, we got to stop acting like God don't use us. Quit acting like it's gonna fall out the sky. Ain't no stork gonna bring it. It ain't gonna just drop out. It takes one another to
Yes.
bless another. So if you are somebody out there and you got a loved one hurting, dealing, but they homeless, hurting and dealing, they lights got
She'll be right back. It's storming in her area. So we were trying to pull this off before the storm got bad again. We had this episode talking about the journey through grief and healing. The journey through grief and healing. Please share, tag, and like so that someone that's going through a grieving or someone that may not know what to do, they can reach out to get help in their local community so that they can get some of these things that Miss Shirley is talking
it's
about.
right at the end.
She's back. You back. It's storming where she at. We're trying to get her back on. Again, we're talking about empowering others. Empowering others.
Too.
You good? I told him it's storming in
It
your
didn't bring
area.
me back in.
You good?
Dang, you calling my phone.
You on there? Sure.
Come
Hello?
on, come on, come on.
So it's
Bring
storming
this
in
to
her
your
area again.
audience.
We thank each of you for
No.
standing by with us as we try to get through the
Come on.
storm.
Did it bring me back?
Got your picture up. It's coming back.
Gosh, don't you hate when that happens?
We can hear you.
You're backstage. Did it bring me back? Gosh. Yeah, I'm everyone can see and hear. See
We
if
can
it
hear
brought
you.
me back in.
We can hear you.
Dang, why they got my phone? Come on back.
Everybody just stand by. Just stand by.
Did it bring me back in?
Yeah, you in. Just go ahead and talk. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Well,
We can hear you if you can talk. We can hear you.
let me see if I cut this one off. Cut that.
We can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, just talk. We can hear you.
You got it. Well, one thing I'm learning is in this journey, honey, the devil is a liar and the truth is
I told everybody it's storming, but we
the devil
appreciate
is
that.
a lie. Yeah, be like, honey, you already know some souls is being saved, honey. Devil, you thought
Yes.
you had that, didn't you? But my husband did make it. As I told you, he's a HVAC engineer, and so he was able to make it. But this is the king I was telling y'all about, and God is so amazing. And because of him, I'm who I am now.
And we appreciate you joining in, Mr. Jackson. And we know you're working, but one thing for sure, we appreciate what you're doing in your ministry. Appreciate you coming on to let somebody hear your story. As Miss Sherry was explaining about what can the families and the churches and community do. She was deep into it, and then when you get deep into something, the devil always going to show up to try to stop it. Because we was talking about the churches, we was talking about community, we was talking about helping people. And when you speak the truth, you know how the devil operates. The devil always going to show up.
Yes.
Stop it. Because we was talking about the churches, we was talking about community, we was talking about helping people.
Yes.
And when you speak the truth, how the devil operates.
Yes.
So we know your internet is bad, but I wanted to get one question out the way. What role does hope play in the healing process? What role does hope play in the healing process? We can hear you even though your internet is going out. We know your internet is bad, but I wanted to get one question out the way.
Okay.
What role does hope play in the healing process? What role does hope play in the healing process?
Hope is the substance of things. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith.
Okay.
What role does hope play in the healing process?
Well, for us,
Faith is the substance of things hoped for.
yeah.
Yes.
And what God is doing is through our hope, through our faith, as I stated before, people are in the position to be a blessing to you. So remain steadfast and allow yourself to be a blessing to somebody else. When you know people are hurting, be a vessel. Find out what it is. Ask God, first of all, you become the intercessor for somebody else. And be a blessing to someone. If you know financially you're in a position to help someone turn their pain into purpose, God's going to use you. And don't be afraid to step into a calling, which could be to be a blessing to others. Because a lot of times people with money have no vision, people with vision have no money. So he will put the two together if you trust God. And the hope is that you continue to remain faithful to yourself, to your accountability, to your family. Don't give up on your family. Don't stop cooking because you're hurting. Don't stop having relations with your husband because you're hurting. Don't start sleeping in separate rooms because you're hurting. That's the time to pull more together. Trust God.
So wonderful, so wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, we thank you for this amazing story. Tell the other people how they can reach out to you, your Facebook, your website, so that they can get in touch with you because somewhere this story going to touch someone today or later on.
Yes, sir. Well, the Souls Right House is spelled SOLSWRITE and then the word house, HOUSE. So soulsrighthouse.com will get you to the website. And soulsrighthouse at gmail.com will get you to our email, which everything is on the website. And if people are in need of encouragement to start publishing a book, we do virtual classes every first and second Tuesday. You purchase our workbook for $35, and then I give you 2 sessions where we can help you turn your pain into purpose.
Amen, amen. Turn your pain into purpose. So again, each and every one of you, don't forget to reach out.
I use your phone here.
We thank each and every one of you for reaching out. Again, thank you to the Jacksons for this wonderful time. We take your time seriously. We don't take it lightly. Our prayers will be with y'all as y'all journey on this journey, knowing that if you keep your head up, God will see you through. So y'all have a blessed day. Keep your head up and keep helping them people with them air conditions, and he said that's a blessing too.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Everyone has a story. Every story has purpose. Welcome to the Real Story, Real People podcast, where ordinary people share extraordinary testimonies of God's grace. Each episode feature honest conversations about faith, healing, second chances, and hope that inspires. Hosted by Raymond Matthews, founder of the Water Bucket Gospel. Join us live every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube page, The Water Bucket Gospel, or on our Facebook page, The Water Bucket Gospel. Real stories, real people, real